place for young people.
Well, I'll back up. Testing, 1, 2, 3. We're happy to have with us this evening Ms. Ruby Hurley, lovely Regional Secretary of the Southeastern Region of the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People, to whom I shall. Testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing. You ready? We take you now to the Shady Grove Baptist Church in Duluth, Mississippi, where the midweek prayer service is now in session, presided over by Reverend F. D. Mossbach. After many appropriate songs and prayers, we have now entered the period of testimony. Sister Martha Jones, one of the stalwart members of the Deaconess Board, has just taken the floor to testify after a stirring sermon by Reverend Brother Mossbach on Don't Never Turn Back. Reverend and members of the congregation, I was glad of this opportunity to testify for myself on this occasion. In fact, every time I has the chance to testify, I love that opportunity. And Reverend, you were speaking about turn back. And I just want to say to the members of the congregation and to the pastor, turn back? Who turned back? After all the trials and tribulations that I done had, turn back. Turn back? Who turned back? After the times I done come down and lighted up the church and made the fire and struggled to keep the thing going, me turn back? Turn back? Who turned back? After the clothes I was done washed to raise money for the Missionary Society and the Deaconess Board to try to keep the work going in the church and do the best I could, sometimes up and sometimes down, who turned back? Turn back? Me turn back? After the sufferings and trials that I've been through, trying to raise my children in the Christian way and do the best I can in spite of the fact that the daddy left when they was all babies, who turned back? Turn back? Me turn back? After I's done been cussed and discussed and lied about on all the corners in this town, and I done put up with all that, and I'm still in the church doing the best I can. Me turn back? Shit.
We learned about the NAACP program, and we were given helpful hints on how to run the organization. We also had time for recreation at night, and it was a weekend conference, and we had about 75 members there from the western states. And at the conference, we elected regional officers, and Oakland's Ackland Brown was elected regional president.
I see. What did you think of the conference? You attended it, didn't you?
Yes, I did, and I thought it was a wonderful experience for the kids for the youth of America to be there and learn what the NAACP actually meant to them and was trying to do for them.
Let's see. Now, at that conference, didn't we have a national officer attend? Do you recall who that was? Roy
yes,
Wilkins?
We had Mr. Roy Wilkins, who's now the executive secretary.
Yes, he took Mr. Walter White's place. Is that right?
That's right.
Mm-hmm. Well, thank you very much, Charlie, for telling us about the regional conference. Jean, as the vice president of the youth chapter, the Berkeley Youth Chapter, what do you consider the most important area conference that we've had in the past?
Well, I think the most important area conference was the one which was held in Vallejo. I think so because this is where we planned exactly what we would like to do in the succeeding area conferences.
And about how many young people attended that conference?
Oh, I'd say there were about 40 or 45.
And did you enjoy it?
Oh, yes, I enjoyed it very much because that was the first conference I'd ever attended.
I see. Now, we also had a conference in Berkeley. Berkeley was fortunate enough to be the hostess for the area conference. Virginia, do you want to tell something about the Berkeley conference, area conference?
Well, yes. Our last conference was held in Berkeley, June 11th. There was 90 to 100 that attended. We had movies on driver's education. We also discussed school problems. Each chapter gave their comments on problems that happen in their own schools. Our next conference meeting will be held in San Francisco, September.
And I'm sure you plan to attend that conference, don't you?
Yes, I do.
Now, is that a regular conference or is that an annual conference? That's the
Regular.
It's a regular conference, but it is the annual conference.
That's right.
Now, thank you very much, Virginia, for telling us something about the Berkeley area conference. Now, you did mention a number of 80 or 90. Was that 80 or 90 young people alone that attended
Yes.
that conference?
Yes.
So you can see that the youth chapters are growing from Vallejo 3 months before area conference with about 40 or 50 young people attending, and then the Berkeley conference with almost 100 young people attending. So that, of course, is a very encouraging sign. Now, one of the activities that the Berkeley chapter participated in was the Jabberwock that was sponsored and is always put on by the Delta Sigma Theta sorority. Marie, you were in the Jabberwock, weren't you?
Yes, I was.
And you were in the Berkeley Youth Chapter skit, were you not?
Yes, I was.
Can you tell us something about that?
Well, we were sponsored by the Phyllis Wooten Club to participate in the Jabberwock. And we wrote the skit ourselves, and the name of it was The Blind Date. 9 members participated in it. Although we didn't win a prize, we presented the skit to the adult membership meeting the next month.
And what part did you play in the skit?
I was the mother.
Oh, yes, you had a wonderful time with that part, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
And do you think that you'd like to do something of that nature again in the future?
Yes, I would.
You enjoyed it that much?
Mm-hmm.
Fine. Other activities that the Berkeley Youth Chapter participated in the past year, I think can be very ably told by Mary.
Yes, I can. For one thing, we've had presented programs for each of the meetings of the adult chapter. And besides presenting these programs, we have ushered for the adult membership meeting. And we've joined with the other youth chapters of Northern California area and ushered at the Marshall meeting at the Oakland Auditorium.
Oh, yes, and there were many, many young people who ushered at that Marshall meeting.
Yes, there were very.
I think it was quite a thrill for everyone there to participate in that activity. That's one of the largest meetings that the association has held in this area. That is not, of course, the first time that Mr. Marshall was here, but it was a very wonderful meeting. Now, one of our special activities has been a brotherhood program that we sponsored with other organizations. Mary Sue, can you tell us something about that program?
Yes, I can. The theme of that program was Brotherhood Around the World. We had performance from Ireland, Hungary, and Africa. We sponsored it jointly with the Oakland Jewish Community Center, the Berkeley YWCA, the Berkeley YMCA, and the South Berkeley YMCA. That was held March the 26th.
Oh, yes, you were on the planning committee for that program, weren't you?
Yes, I was.
And that was the same evening of the day of the Vallejo conference, wasn't it?
Yes, we
And you had to rush back, isn't that right?
Yes, it is.
So that you had a very full day.
Yes, I did.
Now, let's see. Gwendolyn, can you tell us where the youth chapters are in the Northern California area what cities they're in?
Well, we have chapters in Oakland, Palo Alto, Vallejo, Richmond, Santa Rosa, San Francisco, Redwood City, Salinas, Berkeley, Fresno, and Sacramento.
Oh yes, and now when and where, I guess I should say, does the Berkeley Youth Chapter meet?
Well, we meet every first and third Tuesday at the Berkeley YMCA, that's 2901 California Street, at 6:30 p.m.
Oh yes, and I'm sure you wish to ask all of the young people who are interested in the youth work to join you and your friends.
Please do, by all means.
Now, Jean, as the Vice President again, I'd like to call on you to say something about the future plans of the Berkeley Youth Chapter.
Well, we plan to participate fully in the annual area conference in San Francisco. That's to be held in September.
Oh, and isn't there something else of a more, even more exciting nature that we're looking forward to in the coming year?
Oh, yes. We also hope to work on a special project for the National Convention, which will be held in San Francisco also, but that is in 1956.
Well, it certainly doesn't take long for a year to roll around. And I'm sure that that everyone, both youth and adult, will be looking forward to the 1956 convention of the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People in San Francisco. We certainly want to thank those members of the youth chapter who made this broadcast possible. And we'd like to encourage and invite all the young people in the various cities that we have mentioned where there are youth chapters to go to their National Association for the Advancement of Colored People and participate with their youth chapters. For here, young people will find the opportunity for leadership development, self-expression, to understand the racial problems which confront them, and together with the adult chapters, work out techniques to cope with these problems. You have made the Fremery Recreation Center a sort of haven for young people. The center is truly a credit to the entire recreation field and to the East Bay communities. It has been a real experience to visit the center and to meet these fine young people. Thank you very, very much.
We'll give you a more detailed sketch about some of the highlights of the program. But first, I shall call on the director of our athletics and playground program. You know Willie Steel, don't you? He was an Olympic star in 1948. We are very happy to have him on our staff. Willie, will you tell us about the summer playground program?
Gladly, Mrs. Seal. The playground staff consists of 5 directors engaged in promoting activities for all age groups in both sexes for approximately 400 patrons daily. The program offered for summer consists of arts and crafts, drama and folk dancing, and low-organized games. The day camp program affords many boys and girls 8 to 12 an opportunity to explore the many exciting wonders of nature. Athletics round out the program. Softball seems to be the most popular with all age groups. We have basketball teams playing in leagues for junior and senior high boys and young adults. 2 of our major programs are, 1, the Young America Baseball program for boys 10 to 13 years old. Approximately 90 boys divided into 6 teams, 15 boys each, play games each Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays, 9 to 12 a.m. An all-star game will culminate the league play. This game will be similar to the Major League All-Star game. The second program is the Adult Softball League, with 8 teams playing games on Tuesdays and Thursday nights. Games will be played at Poplar and Fremery. The Fremery Gaylights have organized a social club from members of the ball team. They are purchasing uniforms through their club treasury. This group, we believe, can develop a strong link between our agency and the community as a whole. We on the playground feel that our program is attempting to and is reaching all age groups and both sexes. The experiences we encounter and the evaluations made by the total staff will help our agency to provide programs which will continue to serve the needs of the community.
Thank you very much, Willie. Our club program forms the core group for our center activities. Edward Howard is president of our Inter-Center Club Council and is well informed to speak about our club program. Edward, won't you tell us about it?
I'll try to give you a quick sketch of how our clubs operate. First, we have clubs for boys and clubs for girls, and also co-ed clubs. Our clubs have many activities such as dances, picnics, skating parties, and many others. We also have a club council. The kids around the infirmary and I call it the ICC, which means Inter-Center Council. The council meets every second and fourth Saturday and have 2 representatives from each of our 7 clubs. The purpose of this council is to give the youth a chance to share in the planning of center programs. We exchange ideas with directors and vice versa. The council elects its own officers and helps form center rules. In addition, the clubs at the Fremery participates in the Northern California Youth Council. There are 2 local planning conferences and a final conference at Asilomar. Each club sends 2 delegates. At Asilomar, we discuss various club problems with other teenagers from all over Northern California. This is only a few of the highlights of our club program around the Fremery.
May I add that for the past 6 years, we have sent from 12 to 14 teenage delegates each fall to represent the Fremery at the Northern California Youth Council, and that the last year, the youth president and vice president of the Northern California Youth Council came from the Fremery. We are very proud of this record. From our charm class, approximately 200 girls have graduated, and about 600 have received some training in personality development. Phyllis Wooten, will you tell us about the charm class program?
In this class, we learn the facts about how to be well-groomed, how to walk and sit with grace, and have good posture. We learn the important things about etiquette and all the social graces. We also learn that beauty is an asset to our appearance, but we can also be popular without it, because beauty does not make us acceptable to others, but rather it is the manner in which we conduct ourselves. Our instructor this year is Miss Nora Devereaux. Miss Devereaux has served under the instruction of Miss Annette Bruce, who was our former instructor. Our new class will begin in September. I know she will be a big success because of her pleasing personality and her charming ways. The charm class is now working on the water show, which we feel sure to be a big success.
Thank you very much, Phyllis. With rhythm and blues taking the nation, we feel very fortified at the Fremery in knowing that we are prepared to cope with the dance situation through our well-organized dance program, which is directed by Mrs. Ruth Beckford Chapman. Jean is a member of the JG's Club. Will you tell us about the dance program?
The Fremery has a well-balanced dance program. During the week, there are modern dance classes for teenagers as well as children. There's also a folk dancing class for the children. These dance classes are under the instruction of Miss Ruth Beckford. Miss Beckford is well known in the community for her splendid work. She is a former dancer of Catherine Denham's group. The dance classes will take part in the annual water show given by the Fremery Center. There's also another part in the dance program. Twice a month on Fridays from 8 until 11, there are dances given by the different teenage clubs. With this balanced program, the teenagers of the community can well be benefited.
Thank you very much, Jean. There's another young lady that I know that all of you will be meeting very soon, Nora Devereaux. We want all of the teenage girls in this community to become better acquainted with her. She is the essence of charm herself and will instruct the charm class this fall. This summer, she is receiving her initiation in the production of our annual water show, Aqua Rhythm Rhapsody. Nora, tell us about it.
Thank you, Mrs. Seal. The 5th annual water show, Aqua Rhythm Rhapsody, will be presented by the teenagers of the Fremery at 8:30 on Friday night, the 26th of August. The show will include precision swim numbers, dance numbers, and models from the Fremery's own charm class. Alice Hirsch and Kenneth Don will direct the swim numbers, Burton Phillip will direct the non-swim numbers. We hope this year to have one of your favorite radio personalities as Master of Ceremonies. The admission for adults will be $1, and for children under 16, 50 cents. Tickets will be available at the Fremery Center and Pool. We cordially invite you to attend.
Thank you very much, Nola. Another phase of our program that we are particularly interested in is the Youth Workshop program. Nathan Kilgore will tell you about it. Nathan?
The Youth Adult Workshop was organized in 1951 and is now an annual event. Around March each year, youth and adults convene to work out various problems that confront the youth. The planning of the workshops lasts from 8 to 9 weeks. Some of the questions that have been asked in the past by the youth are: how do narcotics affect youth of the community? What can we do to improve our community? What can teenagers do to get along better with their parents? How can we bring about better understanding between teenagers and their parents? How can we get a job even though we are teenagers? How can we learn to make friends easily? To answer these problems, various authorities in the Bay Area have been called upon. The workshops usually last for a period of 2 days and is concluded with a delicious dinner, social and summary.
Nathan, do you feel the youth have benefited from these workshops?
Yes, I do, Mrs. Seal, very much.
The Debutantes Ball makes up another phase of our program. Phyllis Longress, a member of the Debutantes Club, will give you some insight into this ball.
The Debutantes Ball is a formal affair which is presented every year for the January and June graduates. The affair is sponsored by 2 adult clubs and 2 teenage clubs. Those who will participate in the ball go through a 9-week training program, which involves the learning of social etiquette, personal hygiene, good grooming, proper dress, and posture correction. A brunch party is held at the home of an adult for the debutantes and their escorts. At this party, everyone is given a better opportunity to socialize. The parents of each participant are invited to attend the ball, and each participant may also invite another couple. The night of the ball, the boys, dressed in their tux, arrive with their dates who are donned in beautiful white dresses. Excitedly, the debutantes and their escorts form 2 separate lines and wait for the big moment to arrive. After the presentation, the debutantes and their escorts perform the Grand March, which is ended with the 10 o'clock waltz.
Thank you, Phyllis. We feel that the Debutantes Ball is the kind of social and cultural event that should be continued in this area. I do hope that we will have the assistance of 2 adult clubs to sponsor this program next year. You can see, Mrs. Wyatt, from the abbreviated information that has been given by these young people, that we have a well-rounded program which we feel is essential for the happiness and mental health of the people in this community.
Well, I certainly can, Mrs. Seal, and congratulations to you and your staff who have made the Fremery Recreation Center a sort of haven for young people. I certainly feel that the center is a credit to the entire recreation field and to the East Bay communities. It has been a real experience to visit the Fremery and to meet these fine young people. Thank you very, very much. Dean, what do you consider our most important area conference?
Well, I think the most important area conference was the one which was held in Vallejo. I think so because that is where we planned exactly what we would like to do in the succeeding area conferences.
Did you enjoy that conference? Did you go yourself?
Yes, I went myself, and I thought it was a very interesting conference because that was the first one I had attended.
And about how many young people attended that meeting?
About 40 or 45.
I see. Now, Virginia, can you tell us something about the Berkeley area conference?
Yes. Our last conference was held in Berkeley, June the 11th. We had movies on driver's education. We also discussed school problems. Each chapter gave their comments on their own school problems that happened in their own schools. Our next conference meeting will be held in San Francisco.
Let's see, now when will that meeting be?
September.
And is that the annual area conference?
Yes.
The annual area conference?
Yes.
In September. That's September of this year?
Yes.
Fine. And I know that most of you will plan to attend that conference. Now, thank you very much, Virginia. There was one activity which the youth section participated in early in the year, and that was the Jabberwock, which is always given by Delta Sigma Theta sorority. Marie, you were in the Jabberwock, weren't you?
Yes, I was.
Would you like to tell us something about that activity?
Well, we were sponsored by the Phyllis Wooten Club to participate in the Jabberwock. The name of our skit was The Blind Date. 9 members participated in the skit. We wrote the skit ourselves. But although we didn't win a prize, we presented the skit to the adult membership meeting the next month.
I see. Now, did you enjoy working in the skit?
I enjoyed every minute of it.
You did? And what part did you play, Marie?
I was the mother.
Oh, yes, that's right. And now, do you think that you'd like to, from that experience, participate in other activities of that kind?
Yes, I would, very much.
You learned quite a good deal from that?
Quite a bit.
Wonderful. Now, we have had other activities in the Berkeley Youth Chapter also, and Mary, I wonder if you could tell us something about what those other activities have been.
Well, for one thing, we have presented programs for each of the meetings of the adult chapter. And besides presenting these programs, we have ushered for the adult membership meetings. And we joined the other youth chapters of Northern California area and ushered for the Marshall meeting at the Oakland Auditorium.